Hari Om. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Govindaya Namo Namaha. Kids, dear kids, lovable kids, darling kids, today we are going to talk about someone, not something, who's dear to all of us. You know, in everybody's life, there are friends and friends. But then, there is a friend who becomes family to all of us. And him or her you call a best friend. Now, we all know that Sri Krishna can be everybody's best friend. But he too had few who were his best friends. And today, I'm going to tell you about one friend who made a big difference in his life. And who was that friend? That friend, you may just know her name, but she played a very important role in his life. And she was Radha. Now, here is an episode that happened in Krishna's childhood. You know, Krishna was very, very fond of Radha, and he was also very, very dear to Radha. Why? Because that is how friendship is. That is what friendship is all about. You value each other. You cherish your moments with each other. You want to do everything together. You may not like anybody else touching your books, your goodies, your favorite things. But when it comes to your best friend, there are no rules. Every rule is broken. You know, he can come into your room at any time. He can touch your books. He can touch your goodies. He can eat from your plate. He can write on your slate. Now you kids won't know what the joy of writing on slate is. It's a very nice thing to write on a black slate with the chalk. Try it. So once Krishna was missing Radha very much, and he wanted to show her something very, very special. So he went to her house, and you know where Radha lived? She lived in a huge, haveli, a big, big house on a hill in a place called Barsana. So all the way from Vrindavan, Krishna went walking. And they say, the way to a best friend's house is never very long. With his tiny feet he went just to see Radha and be with her. And then when he went, Radha's Dadi was there in her house, and she looked at Krishna. Now, this Dadi, she loved Krishna, but she thought that because of him, Radha becomes very naughty Radha gets out of home. Radha doesn't maintain any timings. Radha forgets all discipline. So, from far, she was very good to Krishna. But if Krishna came near Radha, she would not like and she would say, "Nahi, nahi, Radha ko ghar mein hi rehne do." Meaning, let Radha stay at home, you go. So, Krishna didn't call out Radha's name. Like we all go to a best friend's house, we ring the doorbell and call out to the friend. He did not do that. He jumped on the compound wall. It was very high. His feet would not reach, so he kept, he made steps out of some bricks fallen there, and he hung on the compound wall, his feet dangling, and his chubby hands on the compound wall, they turned so red and ruddy, but he didn't care. With all the pain, he said, Radha, come out. Now, Dadi heard this. And then she said, "You are not going anywhere with him." So, but Radha said, "How can I? He's calling me now, Dadi." She said, "Just go out and tell him you won't come. And tell him Dadi told you that you should not go out with him." She says, "Okay, I will go." And Radha opened the door and she said she would call him Kanha. Kanha was a very loving name that Radha addressed Krishna with. So she says, "Kanha, Kanha, I cannot come with you." And immediately his face drooped, his smile went, and he hung his head. He said, "Why? What happened?" She says, "Dadi says I shouldn't go with you." Then he says, "Okay, come here for 1 minute. I want to tell you something." So she went near the wall and don't know what Krishna whispered in her ears, but next minute she had jumped over the wall and she disappeared along with Krishna. So this granny, now just in a fraction of a second, they have disappeared. And then Radha says, "What is the matter now? I have to go back soon. My Dadi will scold me." Krishna says, Wait. I have something very special to show you." She says, "Show me." He says, No, wait. And he took her somewhere. And the minute they entered, it was like a forest. Everything there was so original, so natural, so very beautiful. Be it the trees, the streams, the grass, the birds, the rocks, so smooth. Radha was totally fascinated by this place. And she says, "This is a wonderland." So Krishna says, "This is of course a wonderland, and I have created it just for you. Believe me, Radha, not a single bird or cow or nobody has entered this place. You are the first one to step into this land. And I will call this Radha land." And so they started exploring the place together. So everything about the place excited Radha. Even the air was so fragrant, and with the presence of her best buddy, it was magical. Then as they're exploring, Kanha says, "If you're just walking around, what's the fun? Let us play a game." She said, "But for game we need many people, only 2 of us. It's not a board game." He says, "No, I will tell you a game. Only 2 of us can play it." And she says, "What is it?" He says, you become a peacock, okay, because you are very beautiful, and I will become a deer, because I can walk, jump, run very fast. So, the game is, I will hide as a deer, and you as a peacock must find me. It is hide and seek, peekaboo, lukachupi, they call it, Lukachupi, I think they call it lukachupi. So, Radha and Krishna decided to play this game. So Krishna became a deer and Radha became a peacock. Now, as we go along, we'll keep saying, Radhe Krishna, Hamesha Hamara Sang Rehna. Radhe Krishna, Hamesha Hamara Sang Rehna. Radhe Krishna, Hamesha Hamara Sang Rehna. Now, the deer has gone and this peacock is still wandering about in this beautiful place. She sees a brook is a stream, a lake. She sees a brook here, the water is so sweet. She sees a butterfly there. It is much prettier than the usual ones. It is so colorful. Then the grass on which she is walking is so smooth and silky. And everything is so special. So she's lost the wild cherries, the most beautiful flowers. She feels 2 eyes are not enough to take in the beauty of the place. And at the same time, she's searching for the deer. The deer who is dear Krishna, D-E-A-R, dear Krishna, who has become a D-E-E-R, deer. So, the peacock went far and wide as it was enjoying the natural beauty. Still, it couldn't find the deer. So, it says, where could he be? Behind that boulder there, beyond the stream, in the forest, somewhere I must find, because I'm very tired. We are saying, Radhe Krishna, Hamesha Hamara Sang Rehna, but the peacock was saying, Krishna, Hamesha Mera Sang Rehna. And she's calling out, Kanha, 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 Kanha. The peacock can hear its own echo, but Krishna is nowhere to be seen. At last, the peacock started panting, sweating, tired, and it just collapsed on a carpet of grass. It didn't know what to do. It's just saying, Kanha, 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 where are you? A minute it started crying. Kanha came out of his hiding place. He was hiding as a deer, na? And he says, oh my dear, I'm right here. Oh my dear, I'm right here. Come on, Radha. I've come now in front of you. Stop weeping now. It was just a game. And then Radha immediately said, see, I caught you. I found you. You couldn't hide. And so now I have won the game. I have won the game. So Krishna nodded and said, okay, you have won the game. Now the peacock said, I have not only won the game, now I want my prize. I am the winner between the two of us. So now I am the winner and now you give me a prize. So Krishna was thinking, what will I give her as a prize? What will I give Radha as a prize? What will I give to the peacock? Because, there are only flowers, birds, and beautiful scenery here. How can I? So what should I give her? And immediately the peacock circled Kanha in utter joy that it had won the prize. And when it circled Kanha thrice, when we go to the temple, how many times do we go around the Lord? Thrice we do pradakshina, no? Like that, the peacock went round Kanha thrice and dropped three of its feathers. Immediately, Krishna said, this is the prize. But the peacock said, they are my feathers and I dropped it. How can you say this is the prize? Okay? Because I gave it to you. Then Kanha said, the feathers may be yours, but the meaning I give to the feathers, that is my emotional gift to you. That is my gift of feelings for you. That speaks about my friendship with you. And Radha said, how can these feathers, be a symbol of our friendship? And Krishna said, Kanha said, I will show you how. Radhe Krishna, Hamesha Hamara Sang Rehna. Now, Krishna took those delicate feathers. He looked at each one of them. Aha, there is that glossy green and that peacock blue, the sheen of that peacock feather. Each feather is so beautiful, isn't it? Even when it's not dancing, the peacock's feathers are so special, they are so attractive. They look like decorative pieces. Anyway, so he tied them with a thread so delicately. And then he put it on his head like a hairband. And these feathers stood out on his head, on his forehead, like a crown. And Radha was wondering what he's doing with these feathers. He's just tied them and put him. And then, Kanha said something so moving and touching. And this just what best friends feel about another. And he said, I will keep these feathers with me throughout my life. Everywhere, wherever I go, even on the battlefield, I'll wear this. And she was wondering what was so unique about these feathers. He said, I will put these feathers, I'll keep these feathers on my forehead, on my crown, to remind me that you won the game in the first place. Okay? And in the second place, you occupy the topmost position in my life as a bestie, as a best friend, BFF, as a best friend forever. Also, that I love you forever, more than myself. And lastly, to tell me that Radha, as a friend, as a person, as a sweet girl, you are as graceful and beautiful as a peacock. I love you for all your qualities of head and heart. You're beautiful on the outside, you're beautiful on the inside. Radhe Krishna, Hamesha Hamara Sang Rehna. Radhe Krishna, Hamesha Hamara Sang Rehna. Now, Radha was so touched, so moved by this gesture of her friend, best friend, because initially she didn't even want to come out with him. And when she came out with him, he wanted to make her so happy that he took her to this wonderland. And then he turned himself into a deer and he made her a very, very attractive peacock. And then he created the game. He lost the game so that Radha wins the game. And ultimately, he excelled as a best friend by giving her an eternal place in his life. Because when we think of Krishna, we cannot think of him without his feathers. And what is the other thing that we can't think of him without? His flute. His feathers and his flute. Now, then, as they got out of the forest, and Radha just looked at him, how cute he was with his yellow silks. It's called pitambar, na? What he wears is called pitambar, with his yellow silk, his flute, and now the peacock feathers on his forehead. She thought he looked the most handsome boy, the most handsome buddy that one could ever dream of. Then again Krishna looks at her lovingly and he says that, have you any idea why I always wear these yellow silks? Why I am called pitambar? She says, I mean, it could be that you love yellow or golden, that is why you wear. He shook his head and he said, no, Radha, that is not the reason. There is a deeper reason behind this. And Radha says, are you kidding? Tell me what it is. And then he says, see, your complexion, your skin is that of shining gold. Okay? Gold is called Kanchana, Suvarna in Sanskrit. So he says, your skin is so smooth, so flawless, so beautiful, like that of shimmering gold. So I thought I will wear yellow on my person to remind me of you. So immediately Radha said, she clapped her hands. Radhe Krishna, Hamesha Hamara Sang Rehna. So she clapped her hands and said, now I too have decided that I, from today, will wear only blue robes, the color of your skin, Kanha. And that is why it is believed that Radha always wears only blue colored clothes. And so, like Kanha is called Pitambar. Pitambar means the one who wears yellow clothes or yellow silks. Like Krishna is called Pitambar, Radha is called Neelambari. Neela means blue, Ambara, covered in clothes. So, she is the one who is always wearing blue clothes. So, this story is to tell us that the best friendship, the best relationship, the most meaningful one is when you live for each other. Kanha wanted to make Radha happy and Radha wanted to make Kanha happy. So they always thought of what to give each other. So in friendship, it is not about what I get from the other person. In friendship, in any relationship, it is what I want to give to the other person, how I want to make the other person happy, how I'm just so happy that the other person is a part of my life, how I value that other person much, much more than I value myself. So think friendship, think Kanha, because he can be anybody's best buddy. He was best buddy of Radha, he was best buddy of Sudama, he was best buddy of Arjuna, and he was the best buddy of even cows, calves, trees, creepers, flowers. Can you imagine such a friend who is so good with anybody he is in the company of? That is why Krishna is the best buddy of everyone. BFF, best friend forever. Radhe Krishna, Radhe Krishna, hamesha hamara sang rehna. So this story tells us that apart from being a best friend, Krishna attracted beautiful souls who could be best friends to anybody. So what do you do? What do you all do with a best friend? You go to movies, you have food together, then you have picnics, you have long chats, you share your secrets and occasionally your regrets. So from today, never ever feel that a best friend is away from you. Feel the presence of Krishna, who can be a best friend every moment. Feel the presence of Radha, who can equally match your feelings with her gentleness, her grace, her sharing, her caring, her giving, her trusting, her playing. Alright? So, happy Janmashtami to you all with utterly, butterly Kanha. When you offer him butter this time, also offer it saying, share this with all your best friends, Krishna, share it with me and with all your best friends. And today I will tell you something you may not know so far. Right 15 days after Krishna's birthday, that is 2 weeks after Krishna's birthday, comes Radha's birthday, and it is called as Radhashtami, and it is celebrated with as much glory and as much grandeur in Vrindavan and Barsana. So, Radhe Krishna, hamesha hamara sang rehna. Radhe Krishna, hamesha hamara sang rehna. So, here's wishing you all a very happy Janmashtami and a very, very happy Radhashtami. Radhe Krishna, hamesha hamara sang rehna. Radhe Krishna, hamesha hamara sang rehna. Wish you many fun-filled, joy-filled days with your best buddy, who is always Shri Krishna and now Radharani as well. She is also called Ladli. Ladli means a very lovable one, someone who is the pet of all. So, from today onwards, Krishna is your Ladla and Radha is your Ladli. This way you will become everybody's Ladla and Ladli. Alright? Hari Om. Radhe Krishna, hamesha hamara sang rehna. Radhe Krishna, hamesha hamara sang rehna. Radhe Krishna, hamesha hamara sang rehna.